There's a version of success most of us were handed before we were old enough to question it. Study hard, get the degree, land the job, work your way up, save what's left, retire someday. It sounds reasonable. It sounds safe. And for a long time, a lot of people followed that exact path and felt like they were doing everything right. But somewhere along the way, something quiet goes wrong. The paycheck arrives, and before you've even decided what to do with it, it's already leaving. The rent, the car, the subscriptions, the dinners out, the things you don't even remember buying. You check your account 2 weeks after payday, and the number feels like it belongs to someone else, someone who spent more recklessly than you did. Except it was you. It's always you. And the strange part is, this happens to people at every income level. It doesn't stop when the salary goes up. For a lot of people, it actually gets worse. This is what the middle-class trap really looks like. Not poverty, not recklessness, just a life that looks successful from the outside while quietly consuming everything you earn from the inside. A treadmill that moves faster the harder you run. One of the most consistent patterns in how people experience money is something called lifestyle creep. It doesn't announce itself. There's no moment where you decide to spend more. It just happens, gradually, invisibly, one small upgrade at a time. You get a raise and move to a slightly nicer apartment. You get a bonus and trade up the car. You start eating at better restaurants because you can now, and the old places feel like a step backward. Each upgrade feels justified, reasonable, like you're finally living the life you were supposed to. Your brain tells you this is progress. You're moving up. Then the raise hits your account, and within weeks it vanishes. Rent is higher now. The car payment is bigger because you traded up. Subscriptions you forgot about. Pull 20 here, 15 there. The grocery bill doubled because you buy the good stuff now. None of it feels wasteful. It all feels normal. But here's what actually happened. Your lifestyle expanded to consume every extra dollar. You're not saving more. You're not investing more. You're just spending more to feel the same. The gap between what you earn and what you keep stays exactly the same or shrinks. The trap isn't the spending, it's believing that more income equals more freedom. But freedom only exists in the gap between earning and spending. Lifestyle creep closes that gap completely. You make more and more, but you never actually get ahead. You just get comfortable being broke at a higher salary. The car payment treadmill is when you trade in your car every few years to get a lower monthly payment, but you never actually own anything. You're always paying, always owing, always stuck in the cycle. Your old loan gets rolled into the new one. You still owe money on a car you no longer have. The payment drops because they stretch the loan from 5 years to 7. You're paying less each month, but paying for longer, and the total cost explodes. Each time you restart the clock, each time you owe more than the car is worth. You think you're upgrading. Really, you're just renting with extra steps and worse terms. When the minimum payment is small enough to feel manageable, most people pay it and move on. Most of that payment goes straight to interest, not your actual debt. At this rate, that debt will take over 12 years to pay off, and you'll end up paying nearly double. Credit card companies design minimum payments specifically to keep you paying forever. You think minimum means enough. It actually means endless. The bank runs the numbers and tells you what you qualify for, and that approval feels like a green light. So people buy at the top of their budget because why wouldn't you? Then reality arrives, room by room. The mortgage eats half your income. Property taxes come due. The air conditioner dies. One broken appliance becomes a crisis because there's no room left in the budget. You wanted a home. What you got was a beautiful financial prison. Part of why this happens has nothing to do with discipline or intelligence. It has to do with something much older. Humans are social animals in a very deep sense. Status within a group mattered enormously. It signaled safety. It determined access. That instinct didn't disappear. It just found new objects to attach to. The car, the watch, the vacation photo, the neighborhood. These things aren't just purchases, they're signals. So people finance things not because they need them, but because of how ownership makes them feel in relation to other people. The credit card makes catching up feel easy. It's not. The debt is real. The feeling fades. The payments continue. Everyone is performing a version of financial comfort they don't actually have. Nobody admits they're not watching. They're too busy financing their own appearance. You think you're building status. Really, you're buying approval from strangers using money you'll spend decades paying back. There's also a more immediate version of this pattern. You're tired. The week was hard. You don't feel like cooking. Delivery. An upgrade. A subscription that saves a small amount of friction. None of it feels significant because none of it is, individually. Across a year, the small conveniences add up to thousands of dollars. Money that moved quietly out of your account in $7 and $12 increments. The most uncomfortable version of all of this is what happens to people who earn a great deal and still find themselves with nothing. The doctor couple making $350,000 a year who can't explain where it went. High income is not the same as financial health. The salary from a job is labor. It's time exchanged for money, and it has a ceiling, a fragility. If the job disappears, the expenses don't disappear with it. The financial structure that felt stable turns out to have been one paycheck thick the entire time. An emergency fund isn't exciting, but it's the difference between a broken transmission being an annoyance and a broken transmission being the beginning of a debt spiral. 6 months of expenses sitting somewhere accessible means that a bad month doesn't automatically become a bad year. Beyond the emergency fund, there's a more fundamental shift in how money can be used. The salary from work is not an endpoint. It's a starting point. The wealth that compounds over time doesn't come from earning more. It comes from owning things that grow while you sleep. The gap between saving money in an account where it slowly loses ground to inflation and putting it somewhere it can genuinely grow is not a small gap. Over decades, it's the difference between comfortable and free. School prepares you to become a competent employee. It does not prepare you to become an owner. People who are very good at their professions find themselves in their 40s wondering why the financial part of their life doesn't match everything else they've built. The middle-class trap isn't a moral failing. It's what happens when a person follows all the rules they were given and never pauses to ask whether the rules were designed with their interests in mind. The way out isn't dramatic. It starts with the gap, the distance between what comes in and what goes out. And then it starts with making that gap work for something instead of disappearing into the noise of ordinary spending. The income you already have, managed differently, is the beginning of something that looks very different from the treadmill, but only if you decide to step off it.